understand or what?
When I got there, I was more taken aback by his lovely blue striped suit, but then the knowledge too was on point.
And the aura and calmness, and Raymond, I saw you in a different light. I must say, I was very impressed.
I see. The Bank of Ghana was saying that. Were you expecting something different?
No, we are listening to the Bank of Ghana.
Yes, the Bank of Ghana is saying that one, the current cedi problem is really something that is external and has not affected the relative stability of the currency.
Which is one thing I didn't get.
Yeah.
What do you mean by relative stability? Okay. Remember, I asked Dr. Joseph for being the same question on this platform that relatively the cedi hasn't depreciated by that much if you compare it to the value at the beginning of the year. And you were saying that, look, for me as a trader, I'm feeling the pinch today. $7,000 has been shaved off what I could get with the same 40,000 cedis that I am going to buy things with. So realistically, I am feeling a pinch.
He made a point that their role in monetary policy really is to look at the trend over the period and say whether it's within a zone. So are we having depreciation, let's say 6% across the board for a very long time? That's how they want to maintain. They are worried about sharp rises. They are worried about specific shocks to the system, which may come through some of these sharp rises, well, especially when it's maintained for a very long time. And I sought to draw his attention to the fact that in January he was saying that, we are going to have a more stable currency this year. In June, when the crisis started happening, even before then, it was in May though. In June, when it started happening, the head of what they call the financial markets made it very clear that from where he sits and to him, the shocks can be weathered by the current system. Yesterday, he sought to show to everybody that the emerging markets, Ghana is doing way better than so many other countries when the Americans' interest rate and other things in fuel hikes and all of those things come as factors to push the dollar. So, in effect, they are saying the cedi is not depreciating. It is the dollar that is becoming stronger. So, it's forcing the cedi not to perform as well as,
Wait. And yesterday, I had similar sentiments listening to this.
Yes.
I agree totally with Ken Thompson that in the end, it is not really about the cedi versus the dollar versus anything. It is about the value of the cedi in my pocket.
Yeah.
So that what was 1,000 cedis able to buy at the beginning of the year, what is 1,000 cedis able to buy now? But two questions stood out for me, and I mentioned one to Daryl before the Joy Business Report. That guy's question about, really, if I give you $1 now and $1 in 5 years, which time would you take the dollar? Making the point that in the end, the currency depreciation of the cedi helps exporters, and so they should continue. The Bank of Ghana should continue.
That was a good one. Yeah,
that was a good one. And then Raymond asked the question of the day.
The one, if you're given $1 and if you're given 6 cedis, which one would you take?
In fact, let me ask listeners this one.
Yes.
Send us a message, 0244
yes.
340437. The current exchange rate puts the dollar at a little less than 5 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
But today, if you were to choose between $1 and 6 Ghana cedis, which one would you take? I have a feeling that we'll have a few people choosing the option that Member of Parliament Fifi Kwete picked, which was $1.
I'm a patriotic citizen. I'll choose the cedi.
Master, you didn't raise your hand. I didn't see you raise your hand. I did not see you raise your hand.
But the Electoral Commission does not participate in the main election. Afrajan never did.
But
so now you're
who told you Afrajan never voted?
Never voted. He always
does that mean that you don't have an opinion?
He told me that he never
this
had
morning
time
you are
to
not
decide.
the moderator. This morning you are Raymond Aqua, Dr. Google fact checker. If I gave you $1 and 6 cedis, which one will you pick?
Oh, but I know obviously that I would have chosen the cedi because I'm patriotic, not because it's the best value in any way.
Oh, okay. So you choose the cedi on a matter of principle,
yes,
not because you think it's a stronger currency.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
And I advise others to choose the cedi.
All right, then let's hear this quickly before we go into the front pages.
Just work out how much of the items on the shelf are produced locally. That tells you exactly the jobs we've exported. So I'm sitting here supporting some farmer and their children and their livestock in Brazil. I mean, please, what do we want? You have the yam, you have the knife. Cut it. You decide how you want to cut it.
Cut it.
Okay,
front pages. New Crusading guy.
Yeah, now I'm starting with the Independent, and
Okay,
it's reporting this morning Kofi Annan was an exceptional leader. We will miss him immensely. This is according to UN boss Antonio, and Commander Sugar Factory does not lack raw materials. Let's make it work. This is according to the CEO of the Commander Sugar Factory.
And on the front page of the new Weekend Crusading Guide, it's hard to say goodbye. Kofi Annan's children say, as world mourns global icon. Kofi Annan embraced my Thank a Teacher Foundation. That's according to our very good friend, Mr. Bakbin. Auditor General not ready to work with board supervision. That's according to Professor Ajiman. And massive development to hit Obliman soon.
The Herald is reporting this morning, big names emerge in ECG concession scam. 7 state agencies crashing. Men's Gold, 1,200 workers to lose jobs. And we want to believe this is in the way of Men's Gold, right? And would to be buys expensive cars as Ashanti NPP communicators cry over economic hardship. There is no corruption at Passport Office. Foreign Ministry fires back. That's what you're saying this morning.
On the front page of the Chronicle, America, Europe abandoned Kofi Annan, and there's the 5 world leaders, pictures of the 5 world leaders who did not turn up for the funeral after sacrificing 40 years ensuring world peace. Technical universities teachers on strike over single spine.
The Ghanaian Observer is reporting this morning, I thank Ghana for my love, Mrs. Kofi Annan, with that powerful, very, very powerful tributes there, and people were excited within themselves that it would happen, even though they were sad about the big event. They were so engaged with the tribute that I will learn a thing from it. Anyway, but Kofi Annan founded Ghana Beyond Aid Vision. This is the President of the Republic of Ghana saying it.
On the front page of the Daily Graphic, global funeral for Kofi Annan, and there's a picture of the president of Ghana and the wife of Kofi Annan on the front page. Kofi Annan was a proud African, that's according to President Akufo-Addo, and there's a sample of his tribute in the newspaper. 103 firms vie for Ghana Business Awards, and Miss Universe Ghana is tomorrow, so you can watch out for that.
Ghanaian Times is reporting this morning, President, world leaders bid Kofi Annan farewell. There's a fake military officer who has been arrested for taking 25,000 in some fraudulent deal. Military officer. That's on the front page of the Ghanaian Times.
Sorry, Raymond. On the front page of the Daily Statesman, PURC orders 10% reduction of water tariffs. And the Kofi Annan story, Kofi Annan worked for humanity. That's going to President Akufo-Addo. And GRA gets tough on tax evaders.
Now, the Daily Guide is reporting this morning, UG, that's the University of Ghana, fights Auditor General. PURC cuts down water tariff, and Men's Gold halts operations. That's also on the front page of the Daily Guide.
Finally, from me, the front page of the Finder, Kofi Annan hailed as advocates for humanity and world peace. GCB staff, 10 others in court over 1.158 million Ghana cedi theft. Ghana resurrects LNG import terminal with Chinese deals. Dr. Kofi Annan heads normalization committee, and there's a picture of a little girl who finally got a wheelchair after a few years of trying to get one. So some good news there.
Well, Good Samaritans still exist in this country, but Gold Street Business is reporting this morning, EPA to track licenses of small-scale miners, 1 district, 1 factory, gathers momentum in 2 regions as 46 projects receive approval. And that's on the front page of the Gold Street Business too. And those are the stories making the headlines today, Daniel.
And
right, let's begin with that sad story of the funeral.
Yes. So the minority in Parliament have signed a petition. So both the minority leader, Mr. Haruna Idrisu, and ranking member Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa have signed a petition asking that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration building be named after the late Secretary General. Quote unquote, they said it's being the foremost building that represents Ghanaian diplomacy apart from the Jubilee House. It's only fit that it be named after him, and so we're watching that space to see if it will be named after him. Now, Mr. Kofi Annan received glowing tributes from President Akufo-Addo and the current UN Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, amongst others, yesterday at his funeral. And perhaps, yes, the most touching one was from his wife, Mrs. Nani Maria Annan, who thanked Ghana for giving her the love of her life amidst tears and smiles. And yes, it really was beautiful to watch as she recalled very fond memories which she shared with her husband of over 30 years. However, Visibly absent from the funeral were the 5 de facto world leaders: Trump, Theresa May, Macron, Angela Merkel, and Vladimir Putin. If you remember, President Trump is the only world leader who has not said anything about Kofi Annan's death, not on Twitter, not on Facebook, and he hasn't made a formal statement. And that's apparently due to the feud that he has with Kofi Annan about the erection of a building taller than the UN in New York City. Nonetheless, we have buried our father, our grandfather. We have sent him home, and essentially that's all that matters.
And we will definitely miss him. Raymond.
Now, the Commander Sugar Factory does not lack raw materials. This is according to the CEO of the company. This company is the Ghanaian partner, which actually is partnering Ceftech India Private Limited, the Indian company that built the Commander Sugar Factory. They are discounting the claims. You know that this has been said consistently that there is no sugar cane anywhere for them to crush and convert into the sugar. That is the more reason why the Commander Sugar Factory, we are in 2018. It was commissioned in 2016. 2 years after its commissioning, there is no sugar that is produced today on the market, commercial production. So the complaint here is that we spend over 200 million importing sugar into this country. The idea of this, and this is a revamped factory. The factory existed during Nkrumah's time, was one of Nkrumah's very wonderful ideas. Then it got collapsed along the line. Then we want to bring it back. We brought it back in 2015, 2016. And you know, producing fresh sugar was very controversial. Whether or not the factory was still working and whether or not it was shut down or it had problems, that's why it couldn't function, was also what they call one of the debates that happened at that time. Fast forward to 2018. The complaint from government was that, the factory people were complaining about not getting regular supply of the right quantities and amounts that are required for them to continue their operation. What the gentleman who represents the Ghanaian partner in that particular Commander Sugar Factory project says is that it is never the case.
So what in his view is the solution?
See, he says that the problem now is that the structures for them to operate is not there. And he says, once they start operation of the factory again, the confidence of the farmers will be back and they will start cultivating more sugarcane for them. The farmers stopped the cultivation because the people could not have their structures to work with properly. So structures of how are you going to get the market to operate for us? How is certification going to be done? All of those structures have not been properly rolled out. That is why they are not in operation. In any case, the kind of injection that was supposed to be done at the last minute was also not done. So all of these things ought to be done first and foremost.
In fairness, for most factories most processing factories that run outgrower systems, those structures depend on the company itself. So you have Rubber Estates, Ghana Rubber Estates Limited. They have those laid down procedures for dealing with their outgrowers. You have the cocoa sector. They have procedures for dealing with their outgrowers as well. I know a number of processing factories just like that in the private sector, which also have deal with outgrowers, and they themselves have, to the extent that, like with cocoa, they give them seeds, they give them inputs, they give them, other inputs apart from seeds, and then they give them extension services to make sure that there's that constant supply. Yeah. Remember when we were speaking with Francis Obrinkwan here, the Agro Center guys? Yeah, they run a very, very similar structure. And in the end, there should be some initiative also from the factory management themselves.
Yes, the CEO says that they've done everything that they are supposed to do on their own, and this is Perry Mensah actually, who is with Perry Lines, the Ghanaian partner in this. He says they've done everything, and that if I can quote him, there's absolutely no reason why government to continuously keep shutting this factory.
I think we should have a chat with this man.
And today we understand that the president may be in the region and visit the factory.
We should have a chat with this man.
Yes,
don't you think so?
We should be able to understand why we are backing industrialization and we are spending 200 million each year to import sugar when they are in the position to provide same. And let's not forget, we said over 7,000 jobs were supposed to be created by this sugar. It's outgrower, what they call it, plantations and all of that. Yet it's not happening today. Related to that, before you move on, there is good news on the one district, one factory level. It has gathered momentum. So apart from the 2 that we know they say they've done, and the 20 that is on promises, this is the latest promise. It has gathered momentum, and the momentum is the way of Eastern and Volta region. 46 projects have been given approval to start, as in start construction of the factories for operation. And this is what is being reported by the Eastern Regional Minister, when he met a couple of people in the region.
So this is 21.
So is it 21 or is it
This-
66?
No, this is 21.
This is number 21.
So
This is
it's
number
not
20.
66.
This is the 21st promise.
Yes.
Okay, but it's for 46.
For 46.
So it's 46 individual promises. So
Yeah.
is it 21 or is it 66?
No, this is for we count them as story together. We don't count them as individual projects
together.
Please.
I understand.
All right. And let's go to the PORC anymore.
Yeah, so the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, the PRC, has ordered a 10.08% tariff reduction on prevailing rates for all customers of the Ghana Water Company Limited. So what happened, is that the GWCL didn't comply with the tariff decision and regulatory directives concerning the Teshi desalination plant. So they were charging people for the cost of that plant running when the plant was actually not running. And this happened over a period of 5 months. And so the GWCL is expected to refund an amount totaling 14,097,146 Ghana cedis to all customers. And like I said, this amount represents 5 months tariff income and fairly over-recovered by the Ghana Water Company Limited between March 15th and September 15th. Also, this refund will further result in a 1.41% tariff reduction, which will be applied from 16th September to December 31st, 2018. Also, the Ghana Water Company is going to pay 542,000 Ghana cedis as compensation to all its customers. And this compensation represents 8.6% of the annual capacity charge of the desalination plant. It has been prorated for 1 month so that it's being spread out per month. So yes,
Good news
some
for the
refunds.
consumer.
Yes, refund. But it's really fair because if you overcharge, it's only fair that you give back what you
course.
took. So that's that.
And this is not the first time this has happened. The ECG did a similar thing back when they had a problem with the billing cycle. Like it was a couple of years back.
That was a sanction for that particular period.
But even when they started with the prepaid meters, at some points there was a problem as well. So when you go and buy, you find that they'll give you.
I remember
back.
I've been
So
refunded by ECG.
ECG, yeah, me
Talk
as well.
about ACG. What's happened to the concession?
Ray, that's a very important question, but I really want us to bring in this issue of unique credits. I
That's
was at the
important.
Kantamanto branch yesterday and it was slightly short of chaotic.
Yeah, so many people have been trying to, for whichever reason, withdraw their money or get some money from the Unicredit outlets. The complaint they give us is that they either not been given the full amount of money and told later on to come at a different date. But management has issued a statement to this direction. The management of Unicredit is saying that they are appealing to the customers to not panic over the safety of their deposits. According to the company's management, their attention has been drawn to rumors, and specifically rumors is what they say, regarding the effect of happenings in the banking industry on the operations of Unicredit. And their reference is that this is in particular reference to the consolidation of our sister company, Unibank, with other banks by the Bank of Ghana. And it says that Unicredit has at all material times operated as a separate entity, providing financial solutions to its shares customers, and they will continue to support their business and personal finances. In fact, they further encouraged all customers to avoid rushing to its banking halls, since that can create panic in meeting all their needs at the same time. They also wish to appeal to all the customers to remain calm in the midst of slight delays.
Slight is relative.
Slight delays at the banking halls, as management is doing everything possible to restore normalcy to all our branches. Indeed, we know that not only is the Kantamanto branch being problematic, other places across the country are having huge number of people believing that this bank is in distress, so they need their money immediately.
So what are sources at these banks, at this savings and loans company is telling us is that they were clearing their checks at Unibank. Yes, as a savings and loans company.
But they say that they were operated independent of the other bank.
So what was happening was that CBG was not clearing their checks.
Okay, the Consolidated Bank.
Consolidated Bank. Unibank is now with Consolidated Bank. Unicredit had an account at Unibank, and CBG was not clearing their checks. Because CBG was not clearing their checks, they had to rely on their cash reserves as Unicredit. And they've been doing that for a while, and they are running short. Because as you know, in the banking sector generally, deposits are going down. People are not saving money in the banks now because of the general crisis that we have. And so they are not having that much deposits, and they are not able to give out that much. So the information I got, the person who was telling me was saying that, look, it's it's not like they can't pay, but they have to stagger their payments because they can't give everybody
everything out at once,
right now. But then we are going online in a moment, and the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank. In your best interest, Goyle Good Energy, and download the Safe Doctor app now from the Google Play. Safe Doctor, the future of better medical care. Now, you've got great love for your vehicle, you want the engine to last longer and perform to its maximum. It's okay. Goyle has a new super synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubricants for you. These specially engineered superior engine oils work efficiently on all modern petrol and diesel engines. They clean, protect, reduce fuel consumption, prolong oil change intervals, and enhance engine performance from startup till you switch off. Go to any Goyle filling station and grab the new Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Engineering innovation for your vehicle has arrived. Goyle Good Energy. Now pay your school fees at Zenith Bank. It's stress-free. Students of UCC, UDS, University of Energy and Natural Resources, Tamale Technical University, Sunyani Technical University, Ho Technical University, Catholic University, and many others can visit any of our business locations nationwide for easy and prompt school fees payment. Or if you are a Zenith Bank customer, visit our website zenithbank.com.gh to pay your school fees via Zenith Global Pay. At Zenith Bank, school fees payment is fast and reliable. Zenith School Fees Payment, your stress-free solution to paying school fees. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. MyJoyOnline.com says city fall not dire. Economic advisor under NDC government. That's Dr. Said Wachi speaking at yesterday's City Forum at the City Center. 51 Ghanaian agric students jet off to Israel for training. Good news for those. Please come back with knowledge that will help our agric sector. Safe journey. Kofi Annan will be honored forever. Catherine Afeku, Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, speaking there. And let's have a wrap of how the foreign media, covered Kofi Annan's funeral. The BBC says Kofi Annan's funeral, world leaders bid farewell to ex-UN chief. CNN says Kofi Annan's widow bids farewell to an extraordinary human being. And Business Day South Africa says stubborn optimist. Kofi Annan's funeral in Ghana attended by well-wishers from around the world. And the Daily Mail UK says world leaders and dignitaries gather in Ghana to pay last respects at state's funeral of former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, a truly global icon. Rest in peace, Bosumoro. We'll take these quick messages and then the BBC News at 7 continues. Stay with us.
This was Kwame's life before Interplast In Green Irrigation System.
Kwame, sorry, what could it from?
In the dry season, Kwame would use buckets to water his 5-acre farm. By evening, he's so tired. So his wife said,
Oh, Kwame, Emre Dania.